I feel it changing again.
Rolling round at the season's end.
Do you feel it changing again?
About to lose my old friend.
The past.
Feel it changing again.
That's what I feel right now.
It scares me so.
Sometimes it scares us when we feel those big changes happening.
But my heart knows
that everything
is really okay.
It's really okay.
It's only changing.
Everything is okay, but it's just changing. What you say?
Really changing again.
I feel it changing again.
Don't know why, and I don't know where.
Don't know where, don't know why.
Going where I've never been.
You're going where you've never been because
I feel it changing again.
sometimes it's scary.
It scares me so.
We don't really know what's about to happen. But your heart knows
that everything is really okay.
It's really okay. It's just changing.
It's only changing.
If you are growing, if you're really changing your mind and you're really challenging your old ways of looking at things, it's going to be scary sometimes because there's going to be some changes. If you're really changing, then there's going to be some changes. Need to be open and receptive to those changes because all changes are helpful. All changes are helpful. Donna? Talk to me, Donna Marie Carey.
Like a seed being carried by the wind.
Like a seed being carried by the wind.
Now a new life begins.
Now a new life begins. I feel it.
Changing again. It scares me so.
My heart knows that everything
is really okay.
It's okay.
It's only changing.
It's just changing. Thank you, Donna Marie. That's what time it is. Things are just changing again. Don't you just love it when things change? Don't you just love it when things change? All right, let me know I'm not here about my. Don't do that first time coming to the class vibe. It's all of us. We be here every week. Just look around the room. It's pretty much the same people. All right. Let's not start from scratch. We're going to be on the primary characteristic of mastery, in the way of mastery. The primary characteristic of mastery in the way of mastery, and it's on page 73 in the way of the heart. It's on page 73 in the way of the heart. On page 73 in the way of the heart. The characteristic of mastery. I'm going to go through what the book is saying, elaborate on it, throw it open for discussion for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go on further. And you don't have to believe it. 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 You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of the things I say, I hope I say some things that's hard to believe, and I hope I say some things that rile you up. I hope you hear something different from what you believe. I hope you hear something different from what you believe. I hope you hear something different from what you believe. I hope you hear something that you go, I don't believe that. I hope you hear something that's truly different. And since you don't have to believe it, if you use it, you'll see that it's true. Because these classes are based on the premise that you're the one that's determining your perception of everything in your world. And it's your interpretation and the meaning that you're giving to everything in your world that's determining how you feel. That your feelings are actually coming from what you're telling yourself about what you're seeing. And that we are unlimited spiritual beings having a human experience who've forgotten that. So now we think we are what we have been taught we are. One of the ways that we can recognize that we are probably not what we've been taught we are is because there's not enough consistent joy, happiness, peace, and freedom in our experience sometimes. So fear and conflict is your way of knowing that your perception is incorrect about who you are and about your reality. Now, if you want to be right about being miserable, then that's okay, because that's all part of the freedom that we all have. So you can be any way you want to be, but the primary characteristic of mastery is fearlessness. So when you are really a master, you won't be afraid.
Well, that means I'm not a master.
Me too.
Who knew? Who knew? We all thought you were a master. So based on total and complete fearlessness, everyone that's not a master yet, based on this, would you raise your hand? Okay, so you're not alone, and you'll never be alone. You're surrounded by people like that. Now, mastery is not having great power to make things happen. Mastery is only the recognition that what is true is always true, and that there's no other choice. So you're a master when you only want to practice the truth, and the truth is based on love. And you get to the point that you feel like you don't have any other choice but to love. You don't have the option anymore. So free will does not mean that you have the right to believe that you can succeed at being other than what God or the higher power created you to be. So having free will doesn't mean you can make yourself something other than what you really are. People always go, well, I got free will. Yeah, you have free will, but free will only means you can decide how much you want to learn at any given time. You have the free will to come to the realization of your power at any given time. But what you are, you don't have the power through your free will to change what you are. You only have power to change what you think you are, but you can never change what you are. And what you are is complete beauty, complete love, complete awesomeness. That's what you are. You can't change that. Your opinions about yourself doesn't change that. So you can use your free will to release whatever you believe that keeps you from knowing that. And you can spend as much time doing that as you choose. That's your free will. Not that you can choose the curriculum. You can just choose how much of the curriculum of love you want to learn at any given time. So it says having free will does not mean that you can elect not to take the only curriculum that life is offering you in every moment. It means only that you do have the right to put the curriculum off yet another day. In other words, you do have the free will to keep delaying yourself as long as you want to. You have the free will to keep believing what you want to believe, even if it's not serving you and bringing you joy, as long as you want to. And the more conscious you become, the more you let everybody else be, and you realize that they are where they are because they're choosing to be that way if they have been presented with alternatives and they're choosing not to use it. Does that make sense to everybody? You know, if we learn that there's another way that we can look at ourselves, if we learn there's another way that we can live our lives that would bring us joy, and we leave out of the room and we decide to discard everything that we heard, then that's you using your free will to continue in exactly the same path that you've already been on. You have a right to do that, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Because you're choosing to stay the way you are, and that's your right. You're destined to be happy. Sooner or later, everybody goes, there must be a better way, and they really get sincere about doing it. They always, sooner or later, everybody goes, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to make that move. Those are the people who are usually sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Or those are the people who are so happy, they want to make sure they stay that way. But people who are kind of, they're not too miserable, not too happy, they tend not to do much. It's not the worst job on earth, so I'll stay on it. It's not the worst relationship on earth, so I stay in it. I got enough money to pay my bills, so that's okay. In other words, people who kind of like have a mediocre kind of, it's okay kind of experience, those are usually the last ones to change. It's usually the ones who really have reached their limit, or those who are going, you know, this is too good for me to mess with. I want to keep this going. So they get on the maintenance program. I say, I'm on the maintenance program. I'm on the maintenance program. Yeah, I have so many blessings that have always been there that I didn't see because I didn't love myself enough, that I'm amazed every day at what's being revealed that's already there, let alone what it is I think I want in the future. If I could take advantage of just the opportunities that are in my life right now without freaking out, that would be awesome. And they were always there, just like they're always there for you. So when you elect to take the only curriculum that matters, and each time you put it off, you slumber in your suffering. You slumber in your suffering when you put off your own happiness. You slumber in your suffering. But when you elect to take the only curriculum that matters, what does that mean? When you elect to use the power of your free will to say, now, from this moment on, 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 what moment on?
Yes.
Yes, right. From this moment on, I will no longer tolerate error in myself. No more games. No more dreams. I'm committed to being only the presence of love. No more jiving about it. I'm going to be a living embodiment of love in my life. Because that's the truth of who I am. I'm going to be love because that's what I am. I'm going to be love. I'm totally committed to it. And no more games, no more dreams. I will no longer tolerate BS in myself. From this moment on, I'm going to be the most loving being that I can possibly be in this moment. In other words, I'm going to get out of the way of me being myself. Because yourself is loving. What's not yourself isn't. So the worst you're being, if you're not loving, you're just not being yourself. That's your biggest crime. You're not being yourself. Because if you were being yourself, you'd be bowling people over with your radiance, with your beauty, and with your light. So I'm going to say that one more time. Now from this moment on, I will no longer tolerate error in myself. 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 Guess what? No more games, no more dreams, no more games, no more dreams. I am committed to being only the presence of love. And that is the truth of who I am, and that is the truth of who you are. Presence of love. So I like to put some juice in there so I can remember it, create a memory in my body. Because your body is where all your memories are stored. Get your body involved. So it doesn't matter the opinions of others. I don't care what anybody else thinks. It says who are yet resisting that decision. So I don't care about the opinions of other people who are resisting the decision to be loving because they're coming up with all the reasons why it's not safe to be loving. Then indeed all things under heaven and earth move to support you. Then everything under heaven and earth move to support you. Well, when does everything under heaven and earth move to support you? When you make the commitment to be the presence of love and be true to yourself and be who you really are, that you're tired of playing games and you're not going to tolerate error in yourself anymore from this moment on. When you make that decision and you're committed to it, the entire universe supports that decision and you start to see miracles in your life. So that means heaven and earth will move to support you. What does that look like? You'll be guided to the right person. You will be guided to the right place. You'll be guided to the right book. You will be guided to the right sunrise. You'll be guided to the right meadow in order to assist you in dropping the shackles of the obstacles. We got obstacle shackles. And it's time to drop the shackle obstacles to what? The presence of love that you have created as an idol, as a substitute for love. In other words, we have an idol that's not real love that we think really is love. And we worship that idol of phony love instead of the real love. And phony love is exclusive love. 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 Because love is inclusive and not exclusive. Would anybody mind closing that door? For me. I can hear everything in the kitchen more than I'm hearing myself. Thank you, darling. That's why when you truly pray from the depth of your soul, God, bring me home. God, bring me home. Love, bring me home. He says, you may rest assured. From that moment on, it is fine to trust every little thing that unfolds. Okay, so once you ask the universe or spirit to bring you home to love, then at that point, then you have to, at some point, begin to believe that everything that happens from this moment on is everything that needs to unfold in order for you to end up in that place of total satisfaction and happiness that you want. So we have to be serious about what we're hearing right now. It's saying when you walk out that door, I don't care what happens after you walk out of that door, that you should start telling yourself, no matter what happens when you walk out of the door, that somehow or another is for your own best interest, and somehow that thing could be used to bring you to the realization of who you truly are as love. So if you walk out of the door now and you say, I'm asking for this job that I want, that I applied for, and then for instance they say they hired somebody else, you would go, that was exactly the perfect thing that should have happened in that situation for my ultimate joy. If you leave out of here tonight and you get home and your bag's out on the street, that would be the best thing that needed to happen to you in that relationship tonight. If you leave out here tonight and something incredible happens that blows your mind in its beauty, that was exactly what needed to happen. So whatever is happening from this moment forward, if we are serious about the idea that we've asked our Creator to bring us home, then we have to trust that whatever is unfolding is in some form of divine order, which doesn't mean that you necessarily understand it. Doesn't mean you'll understand it. Doesn't mean you'll understand it. Doesn't mean you'll understand it. The Course in Miracles says what? Our understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. your understanding does not make the truth what it is. Your understanding doesn't contribute to anything except maybe to your peace. But it doesn't affect anything that's real. I could love you more than you understand. I could want the best for you more than you understand. I could treat you better than you understand. So your understanding isn't necessary to be loved. Your understanding isn't necessary to have your lifestyle to work. Get rid of this idea that you have to understand and agree with everything before the good in your life can happen, because that's the slow route. That's the slowest way you can make it to happiness, is to go at your pace. Love yourself enough not to want to go at your pace. Would y'all kind of entertain that idea? Okay. So, for though you see it not, what you call angels, and angels are just friends that don't have bodies. Angels are just your friends that don't have bodies. And since we are more than our bodies, being without a body is really your natural state. All of us know in our hearts that we're bigger than what we look like we are, when we're honest with ourselves. We know there's more to us than what we think it is. Unless you do no soul searching whatsoever. You'll feel that you were meant for greater things than probably what you think you're doing right now. So when you call on an angel, you're just calling on an invisible friend. And when you call on your friends that simply do not have bodies, and when you're rushing about because you've given the command, they're now rushing about. All of our invisible guides, teachers, they're now, oh, good, Earl finally stopped jabbing around. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's give him the wonderful things that will allow everything that he needs to have to make himself recognize that he's the presence of love happening in his life right now. All right. So, yes. And so what should we say? Yes, I accept your presence in my life. Yes, I accept your presence in my life. My invisible friends, and I'm glad you're invisible right now. Don't materialize. I ain't ready for that yet. Okay? That's when I'm at home by myself. Okay. I accept your presence in my life. I turn the whole thing over. I accept your presence in my life. I turn the whole thing over. Now, each moment is dedicated to what? Healing. So what is healing? Awakening. In other words, I want to let go of the illusory sense of separation from God. I want to let go of this illusory sense of my separation from that which created me, my source, that I once created in error. In other words, I made the mistake of creating the illusion that I'm separate from that which created me. I want to let that go, because that's what healing is. That's what awakening is. Awakening is letting go of all the thoughts that I have that keep me from recognizing I was created by love and that I am an extension of love. And every thought that keeps me from believing that about myself, healing is me awakening enough to let those thoughts go. So your relationships are either helping you sleep to the truth of who you are and helping you forget how loving and lovable you are, or your relationships are helping you remember how loving and lovable you are. Those are the only two things that are really happening in your relationship. And in that process, you might go buy a house. And you can find one in Denver. Okay. So, any questions, any comments about anything that we've heard so far? It can be an aha, it can be a sharing, it can be a comment. This is our time to share and discuss.
The statement of things being in divine order, and that's been coming to me a lot, and it really rang home, because I have a little new mantra: all things in divine order, whether I like it or not. And it's fairly old now. It's about a year and a half old, but it's still so poignant, and to hear it reverberate from some other sources really pleasurable.
It gives you a lot more peace.
Yeah.
And that's really the key. That's what you need to have in order to hear your own inner guidance, is peace of mind. Then you can hear what your own divine self is telling you. This is the contact list. As you notice, I video my classes. If you're on the contact list, then I send you a link to the video and you can watch it and hear it again. Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. Anybody else? Chris.
So over here where it says free will does not mean that you have the right to believe that you can succeed at being other than what God created you to be. I was watching a video on YouTube, and the person was saying that a lot of people believe it's, humility to be like, oh, I'm not worthy, and I'm not worthy of God's love. But he was saying that in actuality, it's hubris, it's arrogance for you to say that I'm not worthy of the love of God, because and what you're saying is that you're special, that God's unconditional love except for you, and so that you're special, you're like the one that for some reason he doesn't know, and that's arrogance.
Yes.
It's not humility.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it helps me look at it that way, because like the old programming, I was brought up to believe, oh, I'm not worthy, but now it's like, no, that's actually arrogance, because if God says that I am created in His image and I remain as God created me, then who am I to argue? And that's arguing with God,
Thank you.
saying that
Thank you.
I'm less than or whatever.
The course says we think self-debasement is humility. If I put myself down, I'm being humble. So thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love to hear what I'm saying, what God's saying through other parts of myself, the one self. Yes.
I just really, really, really like the paragraph that says, though you do not see it now, what you call angels friends without bodies are rushing around because you have given the command. To me, that feels like the ultimate celebration. Like, my heart flutters, because I think if this is the truth, then that's true for me, and it's kind of magical. It feels like this would be like Christmas, like all to give the gift.
I know it's like the FedEx of God. It's like they all rushing around to make that delivery, you know what I'm saying? Overnight.
For
Instantly.
me, yeah.
For you. Yeah. Thank you. That's the way this stuff it affects me. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to say that I appreciate the repetition, because coming here and hearing this information in many, many different ways over and over and over and over again, it's like I can go deeper and deeper and deeper in it. And the one about the more conscious we become, the more we allow everyone to be. Like, I noticed when you said that tonight that I am doing that more. It's like, whoa, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always tell when you're doing it, because when you're doing it, it will look like it's being done to you.
Yeah.
It'll look like you're around people who are more and more accepting of you just the way you are.
Yeah.
And that's how you can really tell, is that you will begin to really perceive it in your experience.
Yeah, and it's around my mother specifically. Yes. And I just have so much love and compassion and patience with her now, more than I ever have. So it's nice.
Okay, I'm impressed. I met your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so the little angel that she is, beautiful little angel that she is. Yes. Anybody else? 6, 5, 4, 3. All right, here we go. Now, how many ways have you sought love? Can you count the ways you sought love? Would you dare to try to count each little pebble of sand on the beaches of your planet? Each and every soul has already tried to seek out love in that many ways. You've already tried to seek out love in as many ways as there are pebbles of sand on every beach in the world. So that means that if you take into consideration that your spirit is eternal and maybe you've been shifting through a few bodies in the process, then you've already, I really believe by the time someone lands up in the class this weird, that they are a very old soul.
Oh, yeah.
That they've been around the block a few times. And that's what this is saying. We've already tried it every way you could imagine it. You've gotten your freak on every way you could imagine. You've sought it in every way you could seek it. You've tried it every way you could try it. And it says, you have sought it in a million forms in which you already knew that you could not find it. As a matter of fact, that was the condition for seeking it, was that you could not find it. Because when a person doesn't love themselves and therefore don't believe they deserve to be loved, they become experts at choosing people who don't appear to love them. As a matter of fact, that's the condition for the attraction, is that it's not going to be satisfying because I don't deserve it. Take a breath. I felt everybody stop breathing at that point. All right? So that means all because what? All because you wanted to perpetuate the insane attempt to try to separate yourself from God, which is to separate yourself from love. If I'm trying to separate myself from love, then I've got to seek love in all the wrong places, and I got to seek love where I can never find it. Where is the wrong place, and where is it that I'll never find love? Outside myself. That's seeking love in all the wrong places. Anywhere outside of myself. Where's the wrong place to seek love? Outside of myself. So really, if I was going to put myself on a dating site, it would make more sense if I was on the dating site because I wanted to give love than I wanted to get it. So I'm getting on Match.com because I'm ready to be the presence of love in somebody's life. Not I'm on Match.com because I need somebody to validate me and to show me that I'm valuable and that I'm loved, which is why most people are on there. That's why they'll show you their graduation from high school picture. Well, that's me. That's me. It's not like somebody else's picture. It's me. But I want you to experiment with this. When you really like somebody, when you really love somebody, when you really appreciate somebody from the heart, they look beautiful to you no matter what they look like. That's how you can always tell when you're looking at somebody with love. There's no such thing as seeing an ugly person when you love them. And the reason why I know that's true is because when it looked like I fell out of that love, all of a sudden I went, why was I ever even attracted in the first place? Because all of a sudden they didn't look that attractive. Because I wasn't looking through the eyes of love anymore. I remember I was dating a girl in high school, and my sister, every time I put her picture up on my dresser drawer, my sister would come in and lay it flat face down. And I would go, why are you doing this? She said, what you doing with that ugly girl? I know you never thought things like that. I know that never crosses spiritual people's mind. You never saw anyone as unattractive. You just can't imagine it now. You're so old. Okay. But but she was beautiful to me.
Yeah.
She was absolutely beautiful to me. She's still beautiful to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. If you really love somebody, it never changes.
That's true.
You might change the way you're relating to each other.
True.
You might change the form of the relationship, but you never stop loving them. Anybody you stop loving, you never did.
Exactly.
Anybody you can stop loving, it never was love in the first place.
True. It's true.
Love never changes, it expands. It doesn't end. But if it's specialness, it can end. You can be special to me, and that ends, and you're no longer special to me. But when I love you, I'll always love you. So the only thing that's ever ended in any relationship that you changed the way you feel about somebody was they lost their specialness to you. That's it. Not the love. They just aren't special anymore. And you aren't special anymore. And when they leave you and they never try to get back with you, you can safely assume they're happier without you. Because if they weren't, they'd be calling. So be glad for them. Be glad. Be glad they finally found a state of consciousness that for whatever reason is more peaceful for them, which frees you and creates that vacuum that allows what you deserve to come into your life. So that's all they did. They just created a space for that which would be the best for you now to come in. If you're not so busy looking back at the past, you don't see what's in your present moment. So it's hard for you to separate yourself from what created you, as it would be a sunbeam to try to separate itself from the sun. And indeed, beloved friends, there is only one question you need answer. Just one question you need to answer, which is, what am I choosing in this moment? What am I choosing in this moment? What are you choosing in this moment? What are you choosing in your life right now? What are you choosing in this moment? What have I given mastery over my life unto? Who am I giving the power over my life to? Is it the opinion of others? Is it to my teachers, my ministers, my relatives, society? Who am I giving mastery over my life to? It's just ask those two questions. What are you choosing right now, and who are you giving your power away to? What are you giving your power away to? And what perception, what thought, what feeling are you giving mastery over your life? Is fear the feeling that you're allowing to master your life? Is guilt the feeling you're allowing to master your life? Or is it love? Is it peace that you're allowing? What feeling do you feel most of the time? That's the feeling that you're giving mastery over your life right now. So feeling flows from the thought, and your feelings flow from the perception you've chosen. So all the feelings that you're having in this room right now, those feelings are coming from the thoughts that you're having while you're here. So if you're sitting here right now and you feel uncomfortable, or you're here right now and you feel sad, or you're here right now and you feel depressed, or you're here right now and you feel grateful, and you're feeling joy, that's coming from the thoughts and perceptions that you're having right now, not from anybody else at all. Do you know how liberating that is to really realize that your feelings are coming from you? Because if my feelings are coming from me and not from you, then I can feel any kind of way I want to feel anytime I want to feel it, and it has nothing to do with how much money I have, how many people like me, what kind of clothes I'm wearing, what kind of car I have, how successful I am in the world. I think that's the best news in the world, is that my feelings are coming from me.
Hallelujah.
That's right. That means I'm free. That means I could be happy tonight, and then I could be okay with you being however you want to be, because you're going to be however you think you deserve to feel. That's interesting. If you feel in the way that you think you deserve, because nobody else is feeling it. You know what I'm saying? If you got a really deep case of indigestion right now, I doubt if anybody in this room is going, I need an Alka-Seltzer. They're not feeling it. They're not feeling it. So the next time you're angry, the next time you're upset, the next time you're losing your temper because somebody did something that you don't like, understand one thing: they don't feel it. You do. So you are always the first point of your own attack. You always attack yourself first. You can be as mad at me right now as you want to be. I won't feel it. But you will. You'll be attacking your cells, your body, and making yourself sick. So what kind of sense does that make? You are upset with me, so you make yourself sick. You're really fixing me. Boy, you getting back at me. The person that hates me is killing themselves. Oh. I'm real sad about that. So next time you're all upset about something, try to remember, they don't feel it. They do not feel it. Don't feel your pain. They can empathize, and you can empathize at such a level that you'll say, I feel your pain, but you're not really feeling my pain. You're empathizing. You're remembering your pain. Because we all have the same feelings. You know that, right? We all have the same feelings. We just have them at different times. And because we have them at different times, we think we're different. You're happy, I'm sad today. Tomorrow, you're sad, I'm happy. Same thing, we just did it at different times. So just because you feel so good today, doesn't mean you're different from the person who feels sad today. You can change your perception and feel sad when you get ready. And they can change their mind and feel good. We're all the same. We're the same, but we're unique in the expression of the one love that we all are. The way love comes through me, you're not going to experience it exactly that same way through anybody else on the face of the earth. Purdy love, you just get that from me. That's the only place you can get the Purdy juice from Purdy. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me get over feelings of jealousy. That's how I got over my jealousy, was to recognize my own uniqueness. There is no competition. There's no such thing as competition when you're being yourself.
That's right.
Nobody else is like you. They'll never meet anybody else like you. Let's grumble. Okay, that's good. Good grumble comes in good every now and then. So then it says, what behavior, what action am I choosing in this moment? And how are you choosing to behave right now with us? And does it really express the reality of who you are? Are you really letting us see you right now? Or are we just looking at your representative? Most cases in groups, you're only seeing representatives. The face of innocence, the face we present to the public, the face that's judging everything I'm saying, your sentry, your guard. That's who's sitting in the chair. Well, I think I agree with that, he said, Earl. See, it's your sentry. Oh, what? I don't agree with that, Earl. Don't believe that. I'm the sentry. That was a bunch of crap. Don't believe that. See, that's who's usually sitting in the chair. It's the guard. And you're filtering everything through your guard. Right? And so I'd like to meet you. I'd like to see who you are. I want to see the one that's on the table with the lampshade on his head. That's the one I want to meet, not the guard. And some of you I have met. Glad to know you. That's right. That's right. You don't really see a person until they feel safe. That's when you see a person, is when they feel safe.
Yeah.
So if you're attacking people, you'll never know them. That will always keep them a stranger to you. Because when people are afraid of you, they don't open up to you. So next time you're going off on somebody, because you think that's going to make them more close to you. I used to attack people to get them to treat me better. And that made perfect sense to me. That I would go off on you and attack you so that you would treat me better. And that was crazy. That's when I say that, doesn't that sound insane? But tell the truth. Haven't you done it? You call it getting people straight. And then they're going to really treat you well because you went off on them. You can peacefully not tolerate certain things. You can peacefully not tolerate certain treatment. You don't have to attack people to stand your ground. Okay? So, am I being busy extending love, or am I busying myself fearfully trying to grasp at what I think can give me love? Am I trying to extend love to you, or am I as busy as I can trying to get somebody in this room or in this world to love me? I'm trying to get someone to love me. I know what? I'll exercise, and I'll get some new clothes, and I'll be real successful in the world, because it's amazing how handsome a lot of money can make an old man. Hugh Hefner's girlfriend, 20 years old, and she looked right in the camera and said, I love him for who he is.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why you were the 88-year-old man. That's right. Okay. So it could be true. It could be true. You 20-year-old women want 88-year-old men all the time. This money has nothing to do with it whatsoever. But if she loves him, he don't look like an 88-year-old man. If she really does, then, so I don't know. I'm not going to judge. I don't know. But all I know is it gives me hope. Now, why in the world would I want a 20-year-old? That'd be a whole nother class. Well, she could be an old soul. Because it's all you. All of it's you. Everything is one. We're one. We're just sunbeams all connected to the same sun. We are all sunbeams connected to the same sun. So that means we are one. You look at a tree, you look at a plant, you see different leaves, but you stand back off of it and you know that all of those leaves are on the same plant back there in that pot. Right? See that pot right there? Right? See, that's one plant. That's not a bunch of plants. That's one plant, right?
Yeah.
And so the leaf at the top, if it fell in love with the leaf at the bottom, the leaf at the right side would say it was cheating on it. That's us. That's us. So it's important for you to be, if you choose to be a very faithful leaf. Okay, that makes you, but the truth, it's all part of one plant.
Yeah.
So it's no such thing as exclusive love in reality. But you might be at a place where you can only love one of your leaves at a time. That you're going to practice on one leaf. That's what you need. One leaf right now. Anything more than one leaf, you freaking out. So you want the leaf that wants one leaf. So the leaf on the right only wants one leaf. The leaf on the left only wants one leaf. Then they can have their thing together. But it might be another leaf that wants all the leaves. And the other leaves might want all those leaves. They okay too. Don't judge the leaf that wants many leaves, and don't judge the leaf that wants one leaf. It's all innocent. It's all is a way to learn what love is. Is everybody with me on that?
Yep.
So if you're super duper, oopa, kooka, booka, booka, kooka, boopa, monogamous, just make sure you find someone that wants to do the same thing. But if you don't love yourself, you'll be with the person who, that's the last thing they want to do. That's what you can be guaranteed. If you don't love yourself, you're going to make the one error that most people make who don't love themselves. They don't choose someone with a common purpose and a common state of mind. You do it every time. Then you spend all your time trying to change that person into something that you want them to be for your own satisfaction, which really is selfish as hell. Because it really is not about them at all. It's about your fantasy and what you want. That's what that's about. But in this society, if you are a person that does want to be with just one leaf, you should be in cornucopia. You should be in heaven because it's our culture. So you got millions of people to choose from who want to do it that way. So you have no excuse. Those who are more alternative, want to try something else, they have to look a little deeper into if that's what they really want, to draw someone who is more inclusive in their love. Because our culture doesn't support that idea. Is everybody with me on that? Yeah. So a person who really wants to expand in their concept of love, they have a bit more of a challenge in our society. But somebody who says they want a one-on-one relationship with somebody who they just want to build a life together for the rest of their life, what's your problem? What is your, there's no excuse for you not having anybody. They're everywhere. Go to Walmart. Go to Walmart, you know they're not going to be too expensive to be with. You're already handling the financial problem right now. Go to Walmart. You don't have to have a lot of money, and they probably want to be monogamous. Don't lose your sense of humor. There's some things I can talk about, I can just watch people. Especially when you talk about anything about monogamy versus being more open. Oh my God. I've never been in traditional relationships. And so I don't really know what that's like, and I haven't seen anybody that's been in one that's really impressed me yet. So please show me, somebody show me the advantage of it.
Yeah, but hold on. Did you impress somebody else with that? Is your way impress somebody else?
Yeah, my way of my way impresses somebody else who likes that way.
Well,
Right. And I'm just saying, I'm just telling you about me, babe. I'm just telling you, I haven't seen, what I've seen is a lot of friggin' fear. I'm not saying that I'm anti-monogamous relationship. I'm saying that I would love to see one where the two people really, after 5 years or more, we're actually looking at each other with that same level of thrill and joy and excitement that I hear everybody shooting for. That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I said I hadn't seen it. Okay, that's what I said, right? I said I have not seen it. Okay, and I'm also saying, and I say this to my class every week, I want to be a teacher for people who are very traditional in their viewpoints, and I also want to be the teacher for people who are alternative in their viewpoints. I want to be the teacher for people who are gay, transgender, who are heterosexual, you name it, who into camels. I want to be their teacher. So I don't see any cultural value as being more valid than any other.
No, it's not.
Okay, and that's my point. But I'm making a point of saying that because people who think in an alternative way don't often hear what I'm saying being said to them. So they hide who they are. But people who play it the straight way, they got a ton of support everywhere. So I want to be the teacher for all people, no matter where they're coming from, as long as they want to be loving. You know, hold up just a second. I'm not to question point yet. I know you love to play the devil's advocate with me, but just give me a second. Okay, now, then it says, look well then upon your parents. No, it says, am I being busy extending love, or am I busying myself fearfully trying to grasp at what I think can give me love, so that I don't lose it? Ask yourself that question right now. Are you really more interested in giving love as you are in getting it? Look well then upon your parents, your siblings, your mates, and your friends. Not one of them holds the power to bring love to you. Nobody can 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 bring love to you. See, if a person believes that people can bring love to them, that's why they're so afraid. Because they think they can lose it or somebody can take it from them. Mm-hmm. So when you think your love is dependent on somebody else, it automatically sets up an energy of fear and jealousy and insecurity. So it's to our advantage to really focus on the idea that no one can bring it to us, but we can share it, but no one can bring it to us. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of people in the world that have one-on-one relationships that are absolute ecstasy. And I'm sure there are people who have more open relationships that are absolute ecstasy. But what we must do more of is demonstrate it. Allow it to be seen. Not two fearful people together who don't really love themselves enough, so therefore they have to be each other's jailers in order to be together. Because there is no form of love that's more valid than any other form of love. So I'm honoring all forms. But I'm also saying that since the more traditional form is the main one that I see, I would love to encourage those who are in those relationships to demonstrate that love every time they get a chance. Mm-hmm. Let people see you looking at your partner with absolute devotion and appreciation for who they really are, and not just look like it's two bodies hanging out together under the same roof somewhere.
True.
That's all I'm saying. Let's see it, y'all. You know, since that's what everybody do, let's see it. I'm not saying you got to wear each other out in front of the whole class. I'm not talking about that. Even though in my class you could. It'd be the one place you could be innocent doing it. But I just would love to see that sparkle in your eye. That's all. Okay? Because you are all me, I'm you, you're me. We're all connected to the same plant. We're all part of the same plant. So all the love that we give, we're giving to ourselves. All the love you're giving to yourself, which is awesome. So it says, not one of them has the power to bring love to you. So what are you trying to get from them? If you can't give me love, if you can't bring it to me, what am I trying to get from you? Why do you ever insist that another ought to be conformed to what you believe you need? Ooh, Why should my life be about taking care of your needs? And if I don't, you tell me I'm selfish. You're selfish for wanting me to do it if it's not what comes natural for me to do. That's you that's selfish. You're thinking about your own happiness more than you're thinking about mine, but you're accusing me of being selfish because I will not allow myself to be controlled by what? Conforming to what you believe you need. And nobody's going to do that consistently. So it's futile. 100% absolutely, positively futile to seek love in relationship with anything or anyone if you think they contain your love. So, here we go. This is always good. When I talk about love, and that's what that really gets everybody riled up. When I talk about relationships, it's like, you just see it. I just love it. So here you go. Now, tear me to pieces.
I'm not. That's misunderstanding me then.
Did I call your name? I just said tear me. I just said tear me to pieces.
You looked at me. Okay, that's my fault. You're right. Okay, you're right.
Okay.
I agree. Okay,
Okay.
I saw it.
All right.
Okay.
That's okay. We love each other, so we can say
Okay,
that.
exactly. So, for some reason, I hear you, and I'm open-minded to it. Anybody can do
I
whatever
know.
they want to do. I don't care.
Well, okay.
I really don't care.
Okay.
But from some reason, this is a very strong point with you, and I
Yes, it is, because it's a very strong point because
Yeah.
there are other ways to do relationships other than the way that everybody does it. I
Yes.
told you why I did it. I was very honest about why I bring the point up.
But we all know it.
No, we don't. No, we don't. If you would be honest with yourself, and if everybody here would be honest, they would not say everybody knows that love is inclusive and not exclusive. They would not say that everybody believes love is freedom and not trying to control everybody around you. What I'm saying is not the common way of looking at relationships. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. We are in a very open society, so we kind of know that this is.
Okay.
That's how
Okay,
people
that's
live.
your
And we
perception.
shouldn't judge them, and everybody
Right.
should do whatever they want. But it doesn't. It shouldn't be a big thing. It's just not. It's whatever. Everybody
you.
does
To
whatever
you.
they want to do, right?
To you, right. So you're sharing the way that you see it, and that is perfectly okay. And I'm sharing the way that I see it, and that's perfectly okay.
Yes, it is.
Right. So part of our loving each other is that we both have points of view, and that we both get a chance to share those points of view. That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing my point of view, you're sharing your point of view, and I'm giving everybody in here an opportunity to share their point of view. It's an area that both of us have a charge on, not just me.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
that's right,
Yeah.
right. So we're the same. So we're the
Yeah,
same.
I just don't
Right.
understand why you mention it so much. That's all I'm.
Well,
I'm
because
saying.
that's what I'm teaching. That's what's on the book.
Okay. Well, because as humans, we humans different than leaves, okay? We human have hearts, we do have emotions. We are a little bit different. We can't just cut ourselves and brainly, philosophically, just, it's right what you say. If somebody doesn't care for us, let them go. It's very right. Are we not going to get hurt? Of course we will. We're human. So sometimes it's, we have to be more compassionate to that.
Okay.
Cut.
Okay.
Cut.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I
No,
don't-
thank you. Thank you. I want you to say what you feel the way that you feel.
All right, thank you.
Yes. And I want to do the same thing.
Shut
I
up.
just want to do the same thing too. I just want to say what I want to say too. Okay. Anybody else? CJ.
So I don't know what you said. But I know that what I wrote was that understanding is irrelevant.
Yeah,
And
that's
understanding
true.
is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then next to that, I have rather artistic notes from tonight. We have some shackles that say, drop the shackles that prevent you from the presence of love.
Right.
And
Right.
And so as I was hearing what you were saying, I have a lot of very unusual relationships that are incredibly beautiful and deep and intimate. And 15 years of breaking the taboos in my life brought them into my life. And one of the things that became truth for me was that the shackles to the presence of love were the things that I believed made me an outsider. i.e. alternative perspectives, you know, and so a lot of what I'm hearing that this particular section is bringing forth is that element of there isn't an outsider.
That's right.
When you expand to seeing love includes
That's right.
all,
And that's all I'm
and
saying.
there isn't an
Right.
outsider.
Right.
And so, you know, there are insiders who aren't terribly successful at living love inclusively, whether they're in a, regardless of the relationship, me with my daughters, you know, it doesn't really matter the relationship, but it's really not about my understanding another person's way, or even looking at it, it's about my understanding that it's part of all.
Exactly.
You know.
And then we all have our own way, like I said, of expressing it. But the challenge is to not judge another person's way of expressing it, if at all possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We are like a many-faceted diamond. We all have points of view. And what's needed is the opportunity to share your point of view and feel innocent about that point of view. If I felt the least bit of defensiveness, then that is something for me to take a look at within myself. Right. You know, okay, what is it? And I know what the charge is for me is usually people who do it another way generally get condemned, or generally are seen as something's wrong with you. You know, and so I have dealt with a lot of that by being a person who did not do it the way society says you should do it. So I've spent a lot of time in my life sometimes feeling like I'm outside of the traditional way of doing things, and so I've dealt with a lot of criticism and judgment from people who think their way is the only way. So when you said something, it triggered that part of me, just like it triggered that part of you. That whatever I say around relationships triggers you and it triggers me. So that means we're giving each other the gift of having an opportunity to check in with ourselves and say, okay, what is it within me that gets a charge when I hear that? I need to take a look at that. I need to have another, because that's what relationships do. They keep you from hiding from yourself what's really going on, because you'll tell yourself anything when you're alone. Okay, you can see yourself as the most conscious person that ever lived by yourself. But the minute you enter into any kind of relationship, you get a chance to get in touch with every part of you that you didn't even know existed. So that's why when people tend to spend, that's what I think that when people tend to spend some time alone for a long time, and they're single or they're not in a special relationship, they have a lot of peace. They generally have a whole lot of peace. And then when they get tired of having peace, then they want a relationship. Oh, no, I mean, when they're ready to grow, they want a relationship. So, because you're guaranteed to draw to you what I call the perfect storm person. The person that's going to absolutely, perfectly match your pattern. That's going to be their condition for you being attracted to them, is that they're going to be a perfect match for whatever it is you need to take a look at within yourself that needs to be changed. And if you really like each other, that helps. because it will allow you to stay in the relationship while you're both learning how to let go of the blocks together. That's why the number one thing is you should really, really have some type of a true sense of wanting to join with this person. So that when the stuff does come up, you'll hang in there because you really care about each other. But don't fool yourself into thinking that the stuff isn't going to come up. They're there to help you grow. They're there to help you get in touch with every block to loving you. But stack the odds in your favor by at least choosing somebody with the same purpose you have, who wants to approach relationships the way you want to approach them. That's what I'm saying.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, because it's going to be a big enough challenge anyway.
Yeah.
But to choose someone who has the absolute opposite goal than you is really a setup. But you don't need a relationship to be happy. You just need your relationship with your higher power, your inner self, your divine self. That's what everything is trying to teach us. That the love that we're looking for is already in us. It's already there. So if we recognize that, we won't be approaching relationships from so much fear. Yes?
One of the struggles I have with that is being honest with myself about why I'm reminding myself
Uh-huh.
that, because this little part of me likes to set myself up to, and you know, well, of course I want just this special relationship, and I don't want to share it. But the reality is, or I want to share it, and why do I want to share it, or any of those kind of things, and that need to feel okay with whether it's, and there are a lot of more open and more honest, supposedly, relationships that aren't very open or very honest, and they're very manipulative, and all the same things that happen on these so-called, because somebody lied to themselves about what they wanted out of the relationship.
That's right.
And they weren't ready for that.
That's right.
And it's a really funny dance from personal experience.
Well, if you're afraid of losing someone, you're going to be tempted to deceive and lie.
Yeah.
But see, most people think that people are lying to them to be cruel, and 9 times out of 10, they're lying to you because they don't want to lose you. And they think if they tell you the truth about who they are and what they're doing, you're going to stop caring about them. So they're not trying to be like somebody that's just trying to do you wrong. It's usually they're afraid. It's nothing that a person would love more than to be able to be completely open with the person that they're in a relationship with. They only hide because they're afraid of loss. They only hide. They don't. Just check out your own experience. When a person no longer wants to be with you and they don't care whether they're with you or not, they tell you everything they've been thinking that they never would say to you when you was together and y'all were tight. Right? They say, and by the way, it says, let me tell you what I really thought about your class. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I read about that. It's never personally happened. It's just something that, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. When you think you don't have anything to lose, you tell somebody everything. When you think you have something to lose, that's when you're prone to hide. So a real relationship is a relationship where there's unlimited communication without fear. That's a real relationship. When you're not afraid to talk to your partner about anything you want to talk to your partner about, or your friend about, or your mother about, or your child about. Not just talking about romantic relationships. And also, I'm not talking about sex. Love and sex are not the same thing. Love and sex are not the same. So when I said love, everybody, the Course says love is deep appreciation. So if I were to say, would it be okay if I'm in a relationship with you and I appreciated her? Everybody would go, yeah. It's okay if you'd appreciate me and appreciate her. That's all I'm saying when I said love everybody. I'm just talking about a deep appreciation for all of us together. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about who's going to be your partner and they're trying to take them away. I'm talking about appreciation, recognizing that we're joined, that we're one. That's love. It's freedom to be who we really are. So when I said love everybody, I'm not talking about whatever it is that would make a person feel threatened by that idea. Whatever that is, they got a wrong perception of what I'm talking about. They're talking about specialness. They're talking about not losing their specialness. They're afraid they're going to lose their specialness. I don't want you treating me better than you treat somebody else. That's specialness. If I love myself, I'm not concerned with that because there's so much love in my life that it's coming at me from every direction anyway, so why do I need to obsess about you? And that'll keep all of us on our toes. That's what'll keep all of us on our toes, is everybody being loved by everybody. Make all of us want to treat each other better. Because people are not going to put up with your stuff. And you're not going to put up with theirs either, when you know you deserve to be loved. You had your hand up, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late. I was working and giving love. So I appreciate walking into the topic. And I'm dealing a lot with that in my life right now, and just being free and loving and all, I see that as a universal language, right? It can mean a lot, but we can communicate that way. And by being loving in any different role in my life, there's certain people that just cling on to it, and then it's it's all about them. So when they see me being free, jealousy starts brewing in their mind, and then all of a sudden and I'm not perceiving it, and so when I it's happening, so somewhere it exists in my past or something like that, but when I'm able to just walk away, then there's this jealousy stewing over me, and I don't get it. So I'm just listen, I love everybody. I walk down the street and smile at every sad person and hug people and strangers, and that's just my personality and love. And so anybody else in my life has to get it.
Just keep being yourself, baby.
Just be aware. And
Just keep being yourself. It's not even complicated. It's not even
I
complicated.
get it.
Yeah,
so
just
I'm not
yeah.
anything.
No.
People just need
They're
to
just
put it on
afraid.
terms
They're just
and-
afraid. They're just afraid. You have to continue to be your authentic self. That's always the answer. If in your heart you feel like the way you're expressing yourself is your authentic self, then it is not your issue. It is not your issue how somebody else is responding to the way you
be.
be.
From afar sometimes, and apparently saying hi to somebody is like jump in my bed.
I couldn't imagine someone thinking that. Hi, and I jump in your bed. That sounds pretty intense. Yes,
But that's
ma'am.
manipulation. That people try to manipulate.
Yeah.
And an important thing to bring up around all of this is we don't know our own best interests. So what to remember to give it over, and it's like I'm not choosing who I think is going to fill that need for me. It's like I'm allowing Spirit to give me the people who are supposed to be in my life, who resonate with me.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Giving it up, just like you said. Trusting that Spirit knows better than you know, but it helps if you have some idea of what you want,
Right.
because how else can you tell when it's shown up or not?
Yeah.
If you don't have some idea, you know what I'm saying? So having a goal in your mind is very helpful in helping you evaluate a situation as far as whether this would be the direction you wanted to go in. Like for me, I wouldn't even want to consider being in relationship with someone who didn't want to take responsibility for their experience. You know, I'm sorry, that's just bottom line. If you're a person that projects and blames and totally see yourself as a victim of everything and everybody else, you're still innocent, but I would choose not to be in a relationship that was an intimate relationship, because where can I go? How can we grow if neither one of us is willing to take responsibility for our experience with each other? And we just holding the other person responsible. So everybody has to have their own particular idea of what that's what's so cool is what I'm saying. We are being free. What we are learning is telling us we all have the right to make the choices that we make about what we want, and we're innocent for doing that. That's all I'm saying. That should be good news. It shouldn't actually be something that brings up so much resistance. For me to say you all are innocent and you deserve to have the kind of love the way you think you need to have it, but in my judgment, it would seem like that would be something that would be people would be glad to hear. But in my years of teaching, this is the subject and the topic that brings up the greatest amount of resistance. I'm shocked that there's this many people here tonight, frankly. Because usually when I talk about relationships, it's when the classes drop off the most. It really is. It's when you talk about the way we do relationships, which frankly this book and most true books says sucks, then people run away from it, because we want specialness more than we want love. We want to be singled out usually more than we want love. We want somebody to put us above everybody else. And the Course and the Truth teaches that that's a reflection of the relationship that we'd like to have with God. You know, the Creator is loving everybody equally. Somebody's going to love me differently from everybody else. And so we seek out relationships to give us that experience of being singled out above all others, which you think you need until you love yourself. And then when you know the love is within you, you don't have that need anymore. And as soon as you don't have that need for people to single you out, they start singling you out all the freaking time. You won't have time to get around to all the people that want to go out with you when you don't give a damn if they ask you. But everybody that's hungry for it is the ones that seem to lack it. And they miss that very obvious clue. You know? So, let me go to, I'm going to finish this paragraph because it ends on a powerful, powerful note. Thank you for sharing tonight. Everybody that shared. Thank you for sharing. Everybody
Are you
that
sure?
shared. Really. Oh yeah. You are a great teacher for me. You really. And don't mistake that. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
And I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a special relationship. Let's go out after the class. I can tell my attitude will make you feel really at ease in a relationship with me. You just love it. Y'all be reading about me tomorrow. What I'm doing earlier, he was somewhere in the alley with a bullet through his head.
Crazy.
Okay. It's, however, quite appropriate to extend love to each relationship with everyone and everything. Love. And just substitute the word deep appreciation. Okay, then it'll take the charge off of it. Okay? Because we said make love, but the truth is we're saying, hey baby, come on, let's make some fear. I saw you from across the room. Do you make fear with me tonight, baby? Yeah, boy, yeah, sure. But you can make fear only with me. Okay, I will.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord, okay. But the extension of that love, the extension of that love requires that you have awakened to the truth that the only relationship that truly holds value is the relationship between you as the soul and God as your creator. So the extension of love requires that you realize that the only relationship that really has value is with your relationship with yourself, with a capital S. That's God. Earl's relationship with Earl and his greater self, his expanded self, his God self, because that's the only relationship that is going to always be there, always. Everybody else is going to come and go. But your relationship with yourself is the one you're going to have for as long as you're here and even after you leave. So if you are giving yourself what you want everybody else to give you, you'll never be without love. And since the world is a reflection of how you treat yourself, it'll look like everybody's giving you love because you're giving you love. And what could be more simple than that? Me treating me in a loving way or trying to get everybody in this room to do it? Y'all know which one would be easier. It would be easier for Earl to take Earl out to dinner. Because he's going to always get lucky with himself. That's right. He ain't going to turn himself down. You're talking about safe sex. Lord have mercy. So the only relationship that really has value is the relationship between you as a soul and God as your creator. So let's give it up for ourselves. We made it. We made it through the class. I'm telling you. I love being around open-minded people like you. So let's do the financial expression of appreciation. I'm a full-time teacher, and I appreciate your sharing if you see value in what I do. And I love you. Those of you who are watching online, you can go to my website. Would you take that, Cheryl? You can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can also make a financial expression of appreciation at my website. Also, all of my classes are put on my website and also on YouTube. So if you Google my name, you can watch these classes again. And I'm also available for one-on-one sessions where we can take whatever you're going through and we can apply this truth to it so that you can get past whatever blocks that you are going through that you know is your patterns that you go through over and over and over and over. If you always choose the wrong person every time you pick somebody, I've said it many times that if you're attracted to somebody and your radar and your picker is really messed up, then you need to have a conversation with those people before you do anything intimate with them. You need to talk to them. You need to talk to them because usually what happens is when you talk to them, then you will lose your attraction if they are not really what would be best for you. You know what I'm saying? You can be so attracted to somebody until you start talking to them, and all of a sudden you go, oh no, I think I may want to make another choice right here. So one surefire test that I've said over the years that you can give yourself is ask yourself, if this person didn't have a body, would I still want to be with them? If I had to just deal with their mind and the way that they think, and that was all, would I really want to be with them? And you'll really quickly find out whether it's a physical attraction or something greater. If the idea of just being with their conversation and the way they think and what they value would just be a total turnoff, If that was all was available to you, then you know it's just about the body. It's a physical thing. And there's nothing wrong with the physical thing. Just be honest with yourself about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, just walk up to them and say, I just want to jump your bones. I don't really care about your mind at all. And they might feel the same way. I mean, that's the same thing. But really think about it, because that's the same thing that's happened when somebody walks in the door and you feel attracted to them and you haven't had a conversation. That's just you wanting to have a physical experience.
Yeah.
And if you meet a person and they feel the same way, and y'all are honest with each other, you have a peaceful experience of each other without any grievances. Actually, more of the grievances come from pretending that it's more than that when that's really all you're interested in. That's when people get hurt, not from the honesty. You know, so we're innocent. There's always somebody that can match whatever it is you desire if you're patient and you're sure about it. So on Sunday, we're going to do the Course in Miracles at 1 o'clock. I want to invite you back to that really deep class. CJ is doing A Course of Love, which is an incredibly powerful class, a mastery class also, at 6:30 on Sundays. So there's a lot of cool things going on here for us to really grow with. So there's something I'd like you to hear before we leave. All right? Okay, here it goes.
Pet peeves right now. Joan, would you go get the peeve from the cage? I'd like to share with you one of my pet peeves right now. Joan, would you go get the peeve from the cage? Don't worry, it's on a leash. Seriously, a pet peeve. This is my thing. Music has the power to really touch people, reach people, uplift people, instruct, educate, heal. And popular music, especially love songs, do not do it. The songs that you listen to on the radio, most of them are really about codependency and fear and holding on. And, once you have found her, never let her go. Let's be serious about that. If you really used that as your philosophy, you'd end up having a lot of restraining orders on you. What we consider romance is not very healthy. You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I can't smile without you. Get a life. So this is my little antidote. Sometimes I call it number 15 codependency block. Because if you sing this little ditty, your mind will be protected, shielded from the negative effects of the lyrics of today's codependent songs, and then you can enjoy them and not be freaked out by them. So please join me in learning this, and we can sing it together and then go through some of our favorite oldies.
All right.
Just a codependent love song, one that's filled with pain and misery. Just a codependent love song, glorifying insecurity. Sing it together. Just a codependent love song, one that's filled with pain and misery. Just a codependent love song, glorifying insecurity.
Glorifying insecurity.
I know I'll never love this way again, so I keep holding on till the good is gone. Just a codependent love song, one that's filled with pain and misery.
Say what?
Just a codependent love song, glorifying insecurity. The 1950s was a time where the United States government was experimenting with subliminal technology to seeing how it might affect the masses of people like you and me. They put some of these messages, these subliminal messages, underneath some of the 50 songs that we were listening to, and if you listen to your old 45s really carefully, you might be able to find some of these hidden subliminal messages. Listen very closely right now and try to find the hidden message of blame and being a victim underneath the following. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guess what?
You don't remember me, but I remember you. 'Twas is on my pillow, laid in my heart, caused by you. Did anybody find it? A lot of psychics in Detroit. Codependent love song.
Say what?
Oh, I'm fucking pain and misery.
Say what?
Codependent love song. Glorifying insecurity. Well, we can go on all night, as you know, but we're going to close this melody with a song that Barry Manilow won his 12th Codependent Grammy of the Year. To do anything, you see, I feel sad when you're sad. I feel alive when you're alive. If you knew what I'm going through,
You know what I'm going through.
just can't.
I just can't.
Just a codependent love song. Oh, that's filled with pain and misery. Just a codependent love song, glorifying insecurity.
Give it up, y'all. That's Scott Calistine. That's his name. A friend of mine. He does all these songs that's just off the chain.
Sorry, what's the name?
That's called well, his name is Calistine. K-A-L-E-C-H-I-T-E-I-N. So if you listen back to it, you can copy it down.
Okay.
And then the first song was another friend of mine, Donna Marie Carey. That song I shared about things are changing again. I feel blessed to have all these cool people in my life, just like you, that are constant reminders of the truth of who and what I really am and who you really are. Yes.
I just want to say one more thing. One of the courses on Sunday or Tuesday night, Master wrote, I think it was a Sunday, but it was a while ago, and you were talking about just this and how pathetic, like, ego-minded the songs are, just like, oh, poor me, and like, I got broken up with in my heart. And I like really noticed that, and I was mindful to it, and when I listen to kind of stuff like that, and anything when I have to have the misery of the radio, I'm too lazy to put my Bluetooth on or something stupid. I just like the other person is my higher divine, and when you shift that part in your mind, it like transforms the song. So it's like, I need you. Like, it's not like I'm desperate, come love me, but like it's like me and my divine, whether it be Buddha, goddess,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I hear exactly what you're saying.
So
Yes.
it changes, like
Yes.
you just change
Yes.
that perspective,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's amazing what comes
Yes.
on
Yeah.
randomly when it's like the radio.
Yeah, people would look at all those songs like it was talking about your relationship to your higher power. It
It's
would be,
just, like,
it would be
really
very,
empowering.
it would be
It's
like a
like
whole
empowering.
different song. I really need you, God. I really love you, God. I'm putting you before anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
like you're that desperate person,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
crying in the corner
Yeah.
anymore, you
Yeah,
know.
that's exactly.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Well, mighty companions, may the course be with you. I'll see you next time. Hugs on brothers. Give it up to your brothers and sisters. These leaves on the same plant. Woo! Lord have mercy. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming out so much.